本の隠し場所についてはすでに金蔵様が私の肖像画の下に碑文にて公示されております。条件は碑文を読むことができるものすべてに公平に。黄金を暴けたなら私はすべてをお返しするでしょう。
Alright guys, discover the gold and she returns the inheritance and everything to us. Welcome back to some more Umineko When They Cry. Last time we had a little Maria Beato scene where Beato helped Maria fix get the flower back for her and put a golden lace around it. Kinda mirroring Beato's own childhood, back when she used to be a human, and her Beato, her master, helped her fix her vase. So, yeah, and Beato's always been really kind to Maria, so she helped her out, and it was a really cute little scene. And Maria has been confirmed to be her apprentice, sort of thing, because Maria also wants to become a witch, so there's that. Maybe Beato sees her younger self in Maria, who knows? And then after that, the craziest part, I guess you could say, of last time was Ronove, this new guy, butler guy, head furniture of Beato, head furniture, so this is a big shop. Showed up, announced himself, he makes some good cookies apparently, according to the other witches, or at least in his character file, and he also brews tea and stuff, so he's a big shot, another opponent to find, and apparently he was created, well, he came back because Beato slowly started getting magic again. How? Because I'm wavering. I'm starting to believe in her because I'm conversing with her and stuff. And that hesitation has caused her magic to slowly return. And this episode so far has been really hard on this theme of believing equals magic power. So because Battler's believing, Beato's getting magic power. Right? Eva believing, Maria believing, even Beato herself believing in her younger days. So it's gonna ram that in a lot of different ways, this episode. This whole belief equals magic power or power sort of thing. So yeah. Now, to go a bit off topic, you guys are probably not interested at all. Just before I started the recording, I actually checked how much I weigh for the first time in years. In so long. I don't check how much I weigh at all. But we have in this house, we actually have this like what do you call it in English? Weigh machine? Weigh bullcrap? The one that well, it uses your opposite gravitational force to check how much you weigh, type of thing. Yeah, we have that. And I checked it, and another thing is, about a month ago, so big reason why is because about a month ago, I learned how tall I was. I didn't know how tall I was exactly until a month ago, and the reason why is because I hadn't checked how tall I was since my teenage years. So since I was like 14, 15, and I was much shorter then. I was like 160 something centimeters. But my brother knew how tall he was, and he said he's 174, 75 centimeters, and I'm taller than him. So I knew I was 170 something centimeters, but I didn't know how tall I was. A month ago, when I went to the police, I'm not gonna say why, but I went to the police and I had to check how tall I am. Don't worry, guys. Guys, don't worry. It's nothing illegal. Guys, what is on your mind? Chill. Nah, okay. So they checked how tall I was, and apparently I was 179 centimeters, really close to 180, but I couldn't quite reach 180 centimeters. Nah, I'm joking. So 179 centimeters. So I was like, okay. Now today, just randomly, just before recording, I was like, okay, let me check how much I weigh. So I got on the scale. Oh, scale! That's what you call it, right? Scale. Yeah, that's what you call it in English. I know what it's called in Norwegian, but okay. So I went on the scale, and I weighed myself at 76 kilograms. By the way, if you're American watching this, translates to American. I can't help you there. I don't know. 76 kilograms. How many? I don't know how many pounds that is. I can't help you there. If I multiply by 2, I get 150 pounds ish. Something like that. 152 pounds or something like that. So I don't really know how accurate that is. It's probably more than multiplying by 2. I'm probably more like 170 pounds. I don't know. I'm not American. Same thing with my height. 179 centimeters. You can do that to your American thing. I'm probably like 5'9" or 5'10" or something like that. I don't know. You can check. You can Google that. Anyway, and then I was interested. Okay, so I know my height and I know my weight. Am I on the healthy scale? Okay, I don't know how healthy that is, how healthy, you know, my body mass index is. I checked it out. Apparently, according to a random calculator on google.com, totally reliable, I am actually on the healthy scale, so I'll take that. That's good. That is actually very good. Now, I don't actually exercise, so this is mostly just me holding myself to a relatively healthy diet. I think that's the biggest reason. And also, I guess I do activities during the day, sure, but I don't actively exercise, if that makes sense. Like, I walk, right, and I do different activities, right? I do different types of labor, but I don't exercise. I get my exercise mostly from walking and that. Although lately, I have actually been using the treadmill, so maybe that has helped. Maybe I used to be 77 or 78 kilograms and I've gone down. Who knows? Because my little treadmill runs recently. Yeah, this wasn't always the case that I was actually on the healthy weight scale. I used to actually be overweight when I was a young teenager. When I was 14-ish, middle school, I used to be really overweight, and I actually when I got called into the what do you call her? You know, the account helper, healthcare woman, whatever. At middle school, she was like, "Ayo, Amin, you're kind of overweight." I remember that. I was just there like, "Oh, I guess I am." And she was like, "Hey, maybe you should consider doing some kinds of exercise. You know, I'm here as your healthcare, you know, woman for the students. If you need help with any exercise tips and that, yeah, you should." And I was like, "Okay," and I left, and I just didn't care. It's not that I didn't care, but I didn't heed her words. Okay, I'll be honest. I didn't I didn't actively push up on that. But yeah, I mean, I used to do sports as a kid, as a young kid. I used to do basketball. I used to do that when I was 8 years old-ish, 9 years old. I used to play basketball, and then I stopped. So during my teenage years, I didn't do sports. And I also really liked eating when I was a teenager. I remember when I was a teenager, I don't know, I ate too much. It was not very healthy, so I think that's why I became overweight eventually. And then, little really cool thing that happened when I was 16, I don't know, several years ago, many years ago. Maybe a bit before around the time I started my YouTube channel, something like that. I started getting this huge growth spurt. Like, I got so much taller. I grew like 15 centimeters, okay? It was massive. And I was kind of late too, because everyone else in my class was much taller than me, until I started growing out of nowhere. And during that time as well, simultaneously, while I was getting this huge puberty spurt, I started also eating a lot more healthy. I started just changing up to a more healthy diet, and I don't know, eating less portions at a time, I guess, and eating more greens and stuff. And that has continued until now, basically. And as I grew taller, right, my weight stayed the same, but I grew taller. So naturally, just the fat went away, and I just became skinny, I guess. Well, I say skinny. I'm not skinny nor fat right now. I'm in the middle, right? Healthy weight, basically. And yeah, I just grew taller, started eating healthier, and then boom, I don't know. I legit didn't exercise. I didn't need to. Maybe it helped that I was young, or I'm still young, and have a fast metabolism. So just kind of helped out there, right? Maybe, who knows? But yeah, so that's just my little story there, I guess. You know, eating healthily, eating healthy foods is very important, right? It's not just, you know, people will tell you to exercise, that will fix everything. But hey, guess you what? Sometimes you don't even need to exercise. Although, to be fair, I was in a specific period where not exercising but switching to a more healthy diet just kind of worked. I don't think this will work for people who are, I don't know, closer to 30 years old, right? Because that's double the age when that happened to me. So probably not, but you know, worked for me at the time. So I guess if you're 14, 15 years old watching this, right? You haven't grown yet. Consider that. Maybe, I mean, everyone's body works differently. Maybe that'll work out for you if you are in a similar situation to me. I should start exercising though, more often at least, right? My little walks and treadmill runs are probably not enough. I mean, they definitely aren't enough, but yeah. Especially if I don't live a long life, but live a long life, that's kind of overrated. I'm not Beato. Frick Beato! Beato can live her long life all she wants. Yeah, I got her good there. And yeah, so I went a little off topic there, but yeah, let's keep it going now. Okay. If you discovered the gold, she'll give everything to us. Alright, return everything to us. Alright, let's go. Here we go. Okay. Who's talking? Maria! Okay, so just like in episode 1, she's reading the letter in the lunch table. Just like in episode 1. It's the same thing, same letter. I mean, I bet if I go back to episode 1 and look at the letter she read out loud then, it's the exact same thing that was said. Because I remember these exact words being said, or something very similar. Ogon no Beatrice. When Maria finished reading the letter that Beatrice had handed her, everyone was at a loss for words for a while, just like in episode 1. So it seems like we're getting a repeat of episode 1, except with different perspectives, new contexts, like Ronove showing up. And then they all broke the silence at once. Okay, seems like they're also having the same reactions as they did in episode 1, where Nazi goes, alright, ridiculous. What a worthless, vicious prank. And Cross agrees. Okay, just like in episode 1. I remember the same thing happening, I feel like. Ariene. What a transparent prank, hoping that bringing up that name will have us running around like headless chickens. I'll applaud and admire you if you come clean now. Rosa! I mean, I can see why they're suspecting Rosa, considering Maria was the one that read out the letter. I wouldn't pull a prank assuming father's name. Eva? Cross? Watashi? Only you could plan something this vulgar. Who is behind this ill-natured prank? Cross beat the table and stared at everyone. Since that included the children too, he scared them greatly. Kiria says it's too hasty to call this just a prank. Father might have planned to shock us a bit since we've been discussing the distribution of his inheritance without him. If he was the one who planned this, we can't take what Maria just read aloud as a joke.
文面通りに解釈するならこれはお父様からのテストね。魔女の碑文は私たち誰にでも解けるようにずっと広間に掲示されていた。告示期間は十分。最初に解けた人間に家督と全ての財産を渡すとそう言っているわけよね。
So he's saying that the first person to solve it will be handed the headship along with all of his wealth, right?
ほら、私たちの魔法叶ったわ。
Are the seven stakes speaking, or magic worked?
そんなバカな話はありません。
Were those the seven stakes? Was that one of the seven stakes talking there?
後ろ宮家の次期当主が夫であることは何ら揺るがない事実です。
It is an unshakable fact that my husband will become the successor to the Shiromiya family headship.
それを揺るがすのがこの手紙じゃない。この手紙はお父様に財産のすべてを全権委任された人物からのメッセージなのよ。
This letter is a message from the person who is given full rights to all of Father's wealth.
もはや兄さんの当主継承権は白紙に戻ったわ。魔女の碑文を解いた者がベアトリーチェの黄金を見つけた者が後ろ宮家の次の当主になるのよ。
The person who finds Beatrice's gold will become the next head of the Shiromiya family.
バカバカしい。その手紙のざれ言を信用するのかね。その風浪が本物だとでも信用などできるものか。
Honestly, thus far, in none of the episodes has anyone ever tried, as far as I'm aware, to even get close to solving the riddle. And me, the guy sitting here, who wants to solve the riddle, can't even begin to do that because y'all aren't trying. How am I supposed to get hints on how to solve the riddle if you guys aren't helping me out?
ならお父様に直接話を聞いてみましょうよ。もう機嫌が悪いからとか体調が悪いとかそんな次元じゃないわよ。
You aren't at the level where you can get away with saying that his mood's bad or that he's not feeling well, you know?
この手紙はお父様の代理人であることを風浪でちゃんと示してる。それを疑うなら兄さんが証明しなさいよ。この手紙がお父様の意志のものではないって。
Prove that this letter is not an expression of father's wishes.
よかろう。お前の言う通りだ。もう親父の機嫌不機嫌の問題ではない。上へ行き直接問いたらそうじゃないか。
And this is where Eva puts her receipt, right? This is where it happens, right? That bullcrap receipt that makes no sense. By the way, it still makes no sense why Eva put that receipt there. I understand that it created a locked room situation, but it's a bullcrap receipt that she put there. Why would she put it? And why would she focus that it's there by the millimeter? That was sus from Eva to begin with. I thought that was sus from Eva. It no longer matters whether Dad's in a good mood or not. Let us go up and ask him directly.
そうしようぜ。親父に直接聞こう。親父も親父だぞ。どうしてこんな回りくどい真似を。まあ、そこが親父らしいんだがな。
That is a little like him.
お父様の手紙だということを前提に話を続けてもいいのかしら。
I wonder if it's alright to talk like that, taking it for granted that it is father's letter.
バカローザ
Stupid Rosa! Oh my god! Eva! As a younger sibling myself, I will not let you treat her like that. Rosa! No!
お父様の手紙に決まってんでしょ。あの手紙はお父様のなのよ。次期当主を私たち4人の中から選ぶための公平なチャンスに決まってるじゃない。
Isn't it obvious that he's giving the four of us an even chance to become the successor? Don't call Rosa stupid, Eva! I don't care about your past. I'm defending Rosa!
バカ死ねこの役立た
Hey, 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 Eva, that's it. I'm throwing hands. How dare you call my Rosa a useless woman? Nah, what's that about?
ほんとローザって頭悪いわ。
Hey, come on, why y'all attacking Rosa? Even the seven stakes are attacking Rosa.
へそでも管理死んじゃえば。
Hey! Hey! Nah, I'm throwing hands with all of y'all. If there's one person that's gonna stand up with Rosa, it's me. I ain't letting y'all call her dumb and stupid. Get out of here with that.
ごめんなさい。
No, Rosa, no, Rosa, don't worry, you've done nothing wrong. Protect Rosa at all costs.
そうよね。ごめんなさい。
God damn it. She's apologizing, god damn it. This is what it's like to be the youngest sibling. Every time. You try to be like, oh, maybe it's like this. No, you idiot! You're an idiot! And you're an idiot! So you're just, okay, alright, okay, I mean, I can't mess with y'all. You're all taller, bigger, wiser than me. I guess I have nothing I can say. Okay, I'm out. I hate y'all. I'm with you, Rosa, don't worry. I'm with you. You're right. That letter is sus. I agree. Come on now. In the beginning, the adults had all doubted the authenticity of the letter. But after just now realizing that this was a once-in-a-lifetime chance for the three siblings, other than Cross in the struggle for the inheritance, Eva had changed her position and had claimed that the letter was authentic. Rudolph and Rosa also realized that and agreed.
まったくそんなくだらないいたずらを大の大人がこれほどまで真に受けるとは。お父様でなくても呆れたい気持ちよくわかります。
Even though I'm not father, I understand well his exasperation. Well, maybe you don't understand it well enough.
夏志さん、それはお父さんに聞けば済む話やないか。お父さんがその手紙は知らんって一言言ってくれれば済む話やで。
Everything will be fine if father simply mentioned that he doesn't know about the letter.
兄さん、責任を持ってその手紙は知らないという一言を引き出すのよ。機嫌が悪そうだからってビビってる場合じゃないんだからね。
This isn't time to get scared just because he's in a bad mood, you know?
いい年してお父様が怖いなんてバカみたい。へそかんで死んじゃえば。
Why are these seven stakes telling everyone to die? What the hell?
おう、はっきり白黒をつけようじゃないか。今頃は書斎で食事中だろう。一度箸を休めてもらおうじゃないか。
I think it's time we had him rest his chopsticks for a moment.
決まりだな。行こう。キリエはちょっと待っててくれ。真偽を確かめてすぐ戻る。
I'm guessing the children also have to stay?
ありがとう。ゴーダさんがデザートを持ってくるのをのんびり待ってるわ。
Kid is like, I'm just here for Goda's dessert. The four siblings, Natsu and Hideyoshi, all stood from their seats forcefully and flew out into the hallway with a clatter. Oh, the four siblings, okay. Afterwards, the only ones left were the children, stunned, completely speechless, Nanjo, who looked uncomfortable, and Kirie, shrugging her shoulders. Alright. That is different from episode 1. Okay, this is the first different thing that has happened from episode 1. The four siblings going up there with some of their wives and husbands. Okay, Maria, who had been at the center of all this turmoil, looked a little scared at the adult's sudden change. However, judging from her appearance, she didn't look like she realized the full significance of what she had just read out.
一体何事だってんだよ。わけわかんねえぜ。
I don't freaking get it.
どいつもこいつもクソったれだ。そんな兄さんが欲しいかい。
Do they really want the inheritance so much? That much?
みんな、これは親たちの問題なんだ。僕たちには関係ない。だから気にしちゃダメだ。
It has nothing to do with us, so you mustn't worry about it.
そうは言ってもよ。ああもうあからさまに。
見損なったぜ。欲の皮が突っ張ってやがる。
I thought they were better than this, showing off their greed.
みんなで幸せになるって信じ合わないとダメ。
Just like y'all promised at the beach.
そうだね。僕たちはみんなで約束したもんね。
True, we all did promise, yeah?
ほら、バトラ君もジェシカちゃんも。
All of us promised.
最悪の気分だぜ。
We couldn't accept it at all, but we laid down our arms for the time being. We had known vaguely how filthy the family conference was going to be this time. However, after that 6-year blank, I couldn't help being shocked. Seeing that the children were completely dejected, Dr. Nodro cleared his throat uncomfortably.
大人の話です。お若い皆さんとは関係のないことですよ。忘れてしまいましょう。
It has nothing to do with all of you young people, let us forget about it.
それができりゃやってるぜ。
I would if I could.
辛いのはわかるわ。でも今は忘れてあげて。
Forget it for now for their sakes.
あなたたちの将来を少しでも豊かにするため、みんなの両親は必死で戦ってるのよ。そしてやがて傷つき帰ってくるお父さんたちをどうかそんな冷たい目で迎えないであげて。
Please don't look at your injured parents with those cold eyes when they come back.
いくらキリエさんの頼みでもそれは難しいぜ。
That's a hard one.
そう割り切れるなら子供なんてやってねえぜ。
If you could be that cut and dried about it, we wouldn't be kids in the first place, fair enough.
わーい、みんな幸せ。
We did promise.
暗くなるのダメ。信じて。みんなで幸せになれるって信じないと幸せが逃げちゃう。みんなで信じないとダメなの。
We all have to believe.
いい話ね。私も信じるわ。
Hey, Kiria believes too.
私たちは幸せになれるわよ。
We can be happy.
キリエおばさん、ありがとう。
Thank you.
パトラとジェシカお姉ちゃんも信じて。ベアトリーチェも信じないと魔法が力を持たないっていつも言ってる。
This whole magic without believing thing again. Magic with belief. Alright. Kiria-san rose from her seat quietly, went over to Maria, and crouched down so that their eyes met.
おー、キリエおばさんが信じてくれた。あとバトラとジェシカお姉ちゃんが信じないとダメ。
Now Battler and Jessica have to believe.
二人とも強いもの。すぐに元気になってそうしてくれるわよ。
You'll feel better soon and do that for you.
それより教えてほしいの。
I want you to tell me. When Kiria-san said that, Jessica, George, Dr. Nandro, and I all listened closely. It looked like our parents' minds had been filled by thoughts of grandfather and the inheritance problem. But we wanted to ask Maria about something simpler. Correct! Who gave you that letter? I'm guessing.
おー、何？
Who gave you that letter, Maria? Nani?
マリアちゃんにその手紙を渡したのって誰？
That is the obvious question. Who gave you that letter, Maria?
ベアトリーチェ。
Beatrice!
肖像画に描かれている魔女の？
The witch joined our portrait. And unlike in episode 2, the witch has not appeared in human form. So Kiria has not seen her this time, unlike last time. And neither has Rosa.
パサと一緒にこの手紙もくれたの。
Yeah, just that does connect with episode 1.
そしてね、マリアのバラが折れちゃってたのを魔法で直してくれたの。
That does not connect with episode 1.
ベアトリーチェは何でもできるすごい魔女なの。
I do not remember her fixing the rose in episode 1. I just remember her giving her the umbrella and the letter. So that seems a little different. Beatrice is an awesome witch who can do anything.
詳しく聞かせてくれるかしら。
In a bit more detail. Oh, that's the end of the chapter. That's the end of chapter 2, right? Nice. Nice. And now it's... Oh, it's 8 p.m. already. Oh! Oh, that was dinner. That wasn't lunch? Yo, we are going at this at a fast pace. This is part number 4 or 5 I'm recording right now. And we're already on chapter 3. Yeah, I'm definitely recording these at a faster pace than I used to before. That's good though. That's actually a good thing. Because I was going way too slow before. That's a good thing. Okay. That's enough chapter 3. We'll keep going obviously here. Keep reading. Let's try to read a chunk more of this chapter 4 now. No. Wait, are we on no, we're reading chapter 3 right now. Yeah. Let's try to read a good chunk of chapter 3 and then end it. Yeah. Okay, okay, it's already 8 p.m. That's interesting. It's already this late into the night. That means that we're gonna get the deaths happening soon enough here. Without even being allowed to wait for dessert, we were chased out of the room. Ah, I heard that in the end our parents were unable to get grandfather to respond. Well, I'm not sure I should be saying this, but I feel like grandfather deserves a pat on the back. He had to be feeling pretty satisfied with the shock his strange letter had given to his children, who had all been so infatuated with distributing the inheritance while he was still alive. I too felt like our despicable parents had gotten what they deserved in all this confusion. But I couldn't really say that I was feeling great. I felt all sulky. Grandfather hadn't entertained them for a moment, but he also apparently hadn't denied anything about the letter. Grandfather's name pops up several times in the witch's letter. If grandfather knew that someone was stealing his name, then considering his character, he would probably be mad with rage. Then I'm checking. I'm gonna check the letter one more time. I bet it's here, right? Oh, we only get the epitaph. Wait, it's probably in the grimoire now that I think about it. Nope, we don't even get it here. Forget it. We only saw the letter in episode 1. Ah, it's fine. We mostly remember the contents. It's just her declaring her... Beato declaring her... her war, I guess? The inheritance war, I guess? You know, if you can solve the riddle, we get the inheritance. If not, she'll kill us all. That's basically what she's declaring. But even though grandfather now knew the contents of that letter, he had coolly ignored it. In this case, did that count as a silent yes? Auntie Eva and Dad had been trying to interpret the letter in their favor, their greed clearly visible. Rosa's great. Rosa's innocent. She's just got threatened by her older siblings. I'm not okay with that. Maria? It wouldn't have mattered so much if that was all, but the adults had then started focusing on Maria, who had received the letter. They kept pounding her with questions about who had given her that letter, and she kept replying with Beatrice. Maria repeated over and over again that she had gotten it from Beatrice, but there was no way a mysterious person like that could be mixed in with the others on this island. After all, this is a small island where no one lives except the Ishiromiya family. And some servants and Nonjo. Maria kept repeating that she had gotten it from Beatrice, no matter how many times she was asked. It seemed that the adults felt that she was trying to trick them, so they didn't hold back and questioned her until she broke out in tears. By the time Maria was released, she had cried herself to the point of exhaustion. I feel bad for Maria, yo. Our parents ordered us to go to the guest house and take Maria with us. Then shut themselves up in the dining hall and started getting louder and louder as they discussed the inheritance. Rough. That's rough. It seemed that, because of that strange letter, the possibility had arisen that Uncle Cross's ability to become the next head could be returned to a blank slate. And in exchange for accepting him, my dad and the rest were trying to swindle Uncle Cross out of a lot of money or something like that. Alright. Okay. Let's see. Jessica and I, both astonished, were happy to move over to the guest house. We didn't want to be under the same roof as those filthy adults, their heads so filled with thoughts about money. George Aniki pleaded on behalf of our parents, saying that he wanted us to understand them. I understood his reasoning. No matter how filthy this talk of money was, it wouldn't go away if you just close your eyes to it. But even so, how could they so blatantly degenerate into such money-grubbing demons? I feel like the guest house. I feel like Maria had cried herself dry and was hiding in her bed. She hadn't even twitched for a while, so she was probably sleeping. I feel like if the siblings were actually just good human beings to each other, right? Actual proper siblings to each other, this wouldn't have needed to happen, right? If freaking if Kraus was just a good older sibling, he'd just help them and give him some money, and then he'll probably get it back from the siblings eventually, right? I mean, at least between me and my siblings, right? Yes, I'm the youngest sibling, right? I'm kind of like Rosa, and yes, I do understand where she comes from. We have a much healthier relationship than these fricks do, right? I mean, if a sibling of mine needs some money, I give him money, right? And then I'll probably get it back eventually. It's no big deal. Even the oldest sibling out of us, who's probably the richest actually, kind of like Cross maybe. So the oldest sibling in our family, right? He's got the most money. I've never asked him for money, I don't think. But if I asked him for a decent sum of money, I'm sure he'd give it to me, right? There's no need to swindle him or anything like that. But also, we're not this 1986 Japan rich family that, has this whole witch thing going on and owns an entire island and a mansion. And all. Okay, situations are completely different. I understand. That's fair. But, you know, they can be a little bit better siblings to each other, right? They could look at how well the cousins are getting along. I feel like the cousins are getting along even now as children than the siblings were when they were children. We literally just saw not too long ago how Cross and Eva were treating each other, and then added to Kinzo being in the play. But now you look, we don't have that between George, who's the oldest, and Jessica, right, and Battler. We don't have that sort of malice, right? We're all nice to each other, even when we're young. Like, even when we're young, we don't, because we're not worrying as much about this whole inheritance stuff. But then, I don't know. This inheritance thing, man, it's rough. It's rough. Alright, I'll keep it going. At the same time, I do understand the parents' side, right? They're just trying to protect their interests, their businesses, and of course their children. So it's not like they're just evil and greedy. It's more nuanced than that. It's more nuanced than just greedy parents, right? Greedy people. There is nuance to it, for sure.
マリアちゃんは一体誰にあの手紙をもらったんだろうね。
Who in the world gave that letter to Maria-chan?
ジョージ兄さん、それはもう聞いちゃダメだぜ。マリアがベアトリーチェにもらったって言うなら、それでいいじゃねえかよ。
If Maria says she got it from Beatrice, can't we just leave it at that?
これ以上マリアを泣かせたくないしな。
We don't want to make her cry any more than this. That said, even we felt the confusion that we couldn't clear away.
この島には今18人しかいないんだよ。そこにこの雨の中、未知の19人目がマリアちゃんに手紙を託して今もどこかに隠れているというのは正直現実的ではないね。
That doesn't seem realistic, he says.
おそらくあの肖像画のドレスをシャノンあたりにでも着てもらってうまくマリアと口裏を合わせたってことじゃねえのかな。
So Jessica's saying this is Shannon, or something like that, but would Shannon really pull such a prank? Nah.
もっともマリアの場合、あのドレスを見たらそれだけでベアトリーチェだと信じちまいそうだけどな。
As soon as Maria saw that dress, that might have been enough on its own to convince her that it was Beatrice.
誰が渡したかなんてどうでもいい問題かもしれないな。大事なのは差出人だろう。
The important thing is who sent it.
要はじい様が黄金の魔女の名を語って一波乱を起こしたかったってことなんだぜ。まったく人騒がせなじじいだぜ。
That old geezer's good at riling people up. The truth was probably that our cult-loving grandfather was playing around. By choosing a grammatic way of handing the letter over to Maria, who shared the same hobby as he did. Paying no heed, though, to the trouble it would cause Maria or the rest of us.
たくマリアの純真な心をもてあそびやがって。手紙を渡したのが誰でもいいさ。マリアがベアトリーチェにもらったって言うんだからそういうことにしてやろうぜ。
Maria says she got it from Beato, so let's treat it that way.
同感だよ。そうしよう。子供にとってのサンタクロースみたいな存在がマリアちゃんにとってはベアトリーチェなんだろうね。
いない19人目もサンタクロースも俺たちが認めてやればそれは少なくとも マリアの中ではいるということになるわけだ。なるほど。子供の夢を守るための嘘って大事だな。
It's important to lie to a child to protect their dreams.
どうしたんだよ、ジェシカ。まだ腹を立ててるのかよ。
Are you still angry, Jessica? Jessica had her hand on her chin, as though there was something that she just couldn't understand. When I called out to her, she came to her senses.
ああ、ごめん。いやさ、マリアが会ったのは本当にベアトリーチェだったってことがあるんじゃないかな。
I was wondering if it was possible that Maria actually met Beatrice.
そりゃどういう意味だよ。この島に19人目の人間がいるって言いたいのか？
Are you saying that there's a 19th person on this island?
マリアちゃんの言うことを心から信じたなら、そういう答えに行き着くだろうね。
いや、そういうのじゃなくて、昔からこの島には私たちの知らない誰かが住んでるんじゃないかって話はあったんだよな。
The story that someone we don't know has been living on this island since long ago.
住んでるってどこに？
Living, you say? Where?
森の中にさ。
In the forest. Living in the forest. Yeah, yeah. Living in forest. Living in the forest. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're having a good time. Having a good time. Living in the forest. Dining hall. We're with the adults again. The adults were gathered in the dining hall, spending a very long time continuing the discussion that had been started by Beatrice's letter. Cross strongly claimed that the letter was a simple prank, but he could not return the claim that Kinzo's failure to deny the letter was answer enough. Judging by Kinzo's character, if he knew that a letter had been written by someone else in his name, he would be mad with rage. Since all of the siblings knew that, Cross had no choice but to withdraw his claim. Without even having to summarize it, the contents of the letter were simple. The person who solved the witch's epitaph would receive the headship and assets. This did a lot of damage to Cross, who was thought to have been guaranteed the succession, and for everyone else who had given up on that long ago, it was better news than they could have ever have hoped for. However, there were some points that worried them. The person who solved the epitaph was not limited to a member of the Ushiromiya family. Taken literally, anyone, no matter how doubtful their origin, could succeed to the Ushiromiya family. And furthermore, this meant there was a chance that all of the Ushiromiya family's assets could be stolen by some unknown person. Well, how likely is it that someone who's not a member of the Ushiromiya family can solve the riddle? How likely do you think Nandra is going to be able to solve the riddle? You know what I mean? Is Nandra going to be able to solve it before you guys do? That's kind of embarrassing if you think about it that way. In that sense, it was definitely not a situation where anyone could lower their guard, even the siblings other than Cross. Had this letter come from a saboteur sent by Kinzo who called himself Beatrice? Or was this the scheme of some unknown person trying to steal the Ushiromiya's family's wealth? They still didn't know the truth. But they could say one thing for certain. Maria had received this problematic letter today on this island. In other words, someone who was planning something related to that letter was on this island today. Was the person who set it up Kinzo, one of the 4 siblings, or maybe some unknown person? No matter how much they suspected each other, they couldn't reach a conclusion. After getting tired of bickering with each other, they finally reached the extremely obvious conclusion that doubting each other was just a waste of time. That does seem obvious. Does seem like an obvious waste of time.
拉致があかんね。無駄な時間を費やしたものだよ。
そうね。兄さんが気づいてくれるだけでこれ以上を浪費しなくて済むわ。
手紙の差出人がお父様と確定したわけではありませんよ。会話の成り立たないあなたに主人が呆れ果てただけです。
My husband has merely had enough of you being able to hold a conversation.
会話が成り立たないのはどっちよ。
Which one of us can't hold a conversation?
私が何か言うたびにあなたは怒鳴ってばかり。そんな無様で後ろ宮家にふさわしいと本気でお思いなのかしら。
Do you truly think that such shameful behavior is fitting for a member of the Ishurame family?
予算かエヴァ。夏井さんも一度終わった話やで。
The topic's finished for now. Give it a rest.
一度ここで頭を冷やさない？
No, Rosa, don't speak. They're gonna bully you again. I feel bad.
冷たいものでも持ってきてもらいましょうよ。
Let's have some cool drinks brought over. No, now they're gonna talk about how it's poisonous and that you're an idiot for even suggesting that much.
そうね。
Oh, okay. Kiri's there to help you out. Yeah.
頭を冷やした方が賢明そう。あなたもそろそろ一服したくなってきたんじゃない？
Baby, don't you want to go for a smoke too?
姉貴の機嫌が悪そうだからね。一服の方は遠慮するぜ。
I'll pass on that smoke. Eva's in a bad mood.
だが冷たい方は賛成だ。ローザ、誰かに水を持ってこさせてくれ。水差しごとね。
A whole pitcher.
わか
Alright.
ったわ。
Rosa headed over to the extension telephone in the corner of the room and called the servant room. She then passed on what Rudolph had told her to the person on the other end. Who's the person on the other end then? You know what's really weird? You know what's really weird? There has been an extreme absence of servants this part, other than Beato's servants. As in, we haven't seen Kanon, we've barely seen Shannon and Gora. That's kind of weird. We've barely seen Nanjo, who's not a servant, but still, barely seen Nanjo. We haven't seen Kumasawa, and we're in chapter 3 of episode 3. I'm just saying. I am just saying. There has been a suspicious absence of servants, especially compared to episode 2, where we spent so much time with Shannon early on, and then with Kanon and Jessica. A long time with them. I'm just saying. Even Gora towards the middle and end of the episode, we spent a lot of time with Gora. And Genji, we haven't seen Genji at all. In episode 2, we had a decent bit of Genji screen time, I feel like. Right? I don't know. The vicious bickering up until now vanished like it had never happened. The sounds continued until Gora finished setting the table and retreated from the room. Okay, so we, of course, Gora mentioned here. Is Gora's gonna say something, or is he only gonna appear for 2 seconds and leave? Are we gonna have more Gora screen time? I don't know.
他に何かご入り用のものはございますでしょうか？
Anything else that you require?
ありません。もう下がりなさい。
Please leave us. Alright, it seems like Gora's gonna leave just like that. Again, not a lot of servant action this time.
はい、それでは失礼いたします。何かございましたらいつでもお呼びください。
If you need anything, call me at any time. And he's gone. Just like that. The servant is gone. Just like that. After listening to the sound of Gora's footsteps disappear off into the distance, everyone took a deep breath at the same time to break the tension.
本当にすごい雨ね。
It's a typhoon.
19人目の魔女は今頃バラ庭園の東屋で雨宿りでもしているのかしら。
Taking shelter in the arbor in the rose garden about now. The arbor, that's the place where George gave Shannon the ring, right? I guess you call that place an arbor. Okay. I didn't know what that was called. Arbor.
どうかしらね。
Maybe she's in the storehouse. Setting up the kills, the deaths.
雨はしのげるかもしれないけど、少し肩を冷やしそうね。
They might be able to avoid the rain, but it would be quite cold. It would be. I was yesterday. I was out in the rain, even though I was sheltering myself. I was under the rain, so it was really, really cold. So rain automatically just brings cold with it.
謎の19人目の来訪者か。
And I didn't even have a jacket with me. I didn't bring a jacket with me, so it was really cold at the time. Thankfully, I didn't get sick. I'm good.
ちょいと推理小説っぽくて面白い話やな。
Guess what, Hideyoshi? Ironic that you mentioned that. I am currently reading a mystery visual novel, so...
普通この手の話は18人の中の誰かが語ってるだけで実際には存在せんと相場が決まっとるんや。
Normally in that kind of story, it's a safe bet that the person doesn't exist, that one of us 18 would be faking it. Normal.
私は源氏たちが怪しいと睨んでいます。
Alright, Nazi's gone on to suspect the servants, just like Rosa did in episode 2, but just like she did as well in episode 1. So, suspecting their servants, that is a recurring thing every episode.
やはりどんな難癖をつけてでも片翼のわしの使用人たちは全て解雇した方が良かったんです。
We should have found any excuse we could to dismiss all the servants of the one-winged eagle.
まあそういうの長く勤めてくれた恩もある。もちろん気は許せんよ。
We can't let her guard down.
兄さんもお父様の仕業かどうかはともかく、あの手紙をマリアちゃんに渡したのは使用人の誰かだろうという点では同意するのね。
The person who had Maria the letter was a servant.
何しろ私たちは夕食までずっと仲良く団らんをしていたじゃないか。兄弟全員にアリバイがある。
All of us siblings have alibis.
マリアに手紙を渡せたのは使用人の誰かだけだ。
Only a servant could have handed Maria that letter.
でも使用人の人たちもみんなベッドメイクとかで忙しくてバラ庭園のマリアのところへ行く余裕なんかなかったって言ってたし。
You know what I really like? The tone of Rosa's voice here, right? When all the siblings died, you can tell the tone of Rosa's voice changed to be more assertive, more dominant. But now that she's with the siblings, she has to take this more passive role because she's the youngest, and you can feel that with the tone of her voice. You can see the way she's talking. Even her speech itself isn't very assertive, right? But all of the servants said that they were too busy with the bed making to have any spare time during which they could have gone to Maria in the Rose Garden. You know what I mean? Even the speech itself is very calm and passive, right? Almost as if, she's trying to keep her place as the youngest sibling there. And I really like that. You can hear the tone, you can hear the voice actress herself just kinda calming it down. Not very aggressive in her speech, I guess. But the moment her siblings died, that's when she started going, alright, I have to take charge. Someone get me the gun. And you can see why. You can see why she's acting like this, because immediately Rudolph is getting on her like, hey, what the hell are you on about?
まさか森の魔女ベアトリーチェ様がお越しになって本当にマリアちゃんに手紙を渡したって言い出すのか?
You aren't saying the Witch of the Forest Beato just handed Maria the letter, are you?
ローザ、昔は信じててすごい怖がってたものね。あんたまさかいい年してまだ信じてるの?
You see?
森の魔女。
You see, she still gets looked down upon by her siblings, right? Oh, even at this age, you're still so childish. Oh, I'm bad. You see what I mean? That sort of attitude. If she did exist, I'd love for her to appear. But no matter how much I wished, she didn't appear before me even once. She didn't save me from my crisis. That's Eva talking about herself, right? This is Eva talking here, right?
まさか。でも18人全員が自分は違うと言っている以上、本当に19人目がいるのかもって思っただけなの。
Unless it really was Rosa. I don't know. Was that text bubble ever Rosa, guys? I actually don't know. That could have been a text bubble regarding Rosa. I just assumed it was Eva, because it was after Eva finished talking. But I could be wrong. Because Eva also has her thing with her younger self, middle school self talking to her, so she already has that sort of thing. But I don't know, it could be Rosa talking. I just thought if that text bubble was Eva.
そんなんあらへんで。第一、船で来たのはわしらだけや。 謎の乗船者なんぞわしらは姿も見とらん。まさかこの荒海を泳いで渡ってきたっちゅうんか。ちょいと考えられへんな。
So she's doubting that there's a 19th person here.
理屈ではそうね。この隔絶された島に招かれていない客が一人隠れているというのは常識的に考えがたいんだけれど、でもどうもその可能性を捨てきれない人たちがいるみたいね。
Some of us still can't bring themselves to discard that possibility entirely, doesn't it? Hideyoshi had left it off, saying that there couldn't be a 19th person, but Kiria had sensitively picked up on the delicate atmosphere among the four siblings. Just by common sense, there couldn't possibly be any uninvited guests on this small isolated island. How on earth would they get here, and from where, and where would they be hiding themselves? And why wouldn't they appear openly, even though they had sent the letter in their own name? None of these could be explained. But considering that none of the four siblings had joined in on Hideyoshi's laughing, they seemed unable to completely deny in their hearts that the possibility of a 19th person.
キリエさん、誤解しないでいただきたいが、別に私たちはおとぎ話じみた魔女伝説など、これっぱかりも信じちゃいないさ。
Y'all don't believe in the fairy tale about the legend of the witch.
またお父様を侮辱する話ですか？それを口にすること自体がお父様への裏切りです。
Simply mentioning that is a betrayal against him.
まあね。でもあのお父様ですもの。あるいは本当にねえ。
It is possible that he, you know?
私は何も知らないわ。
I don't know anything, Rosa says. Don't go after Rosa!
なんやなんや。
Come on, y'all, be better.
何を見学になっとるんや。どういうことや。
What are you talking about? Why is everyone so gloomy?
つまり魔女伝説は笑い話でも何でもなく事実だっちゅうんか。そんなアホな。
It's ridiculous.
もちろん大きにまたがって空を飛ぶ魔女なんて誰も信じちゃいないさ。だがあの肖像画の女ベアトリーチェは本当にこの島に存在したかもしれない。
The woman in that portrait, Beatrice, may have really existed on this island.
秀吉さん、魔女とかの話じゃなくてもっとシンプルな話みたいよ。つまりこういうことね。
Let me see if I have this correct. Here we go, Kirye. Her genius skills.
ベアトリーチェという名の愛人をお父さんがこの島のどこかに隠れ住まわせていたのではないかとみんなは疑っている。そういうことかしら。
Is it something like that? Father had a mistress.
お父様は自己を厳しく律する模範的な方です。そのような汚らわしい存在を島に連れ込むなど到底考えられません。
Alright, Nazi saying that's inconceivable. Nazi snapped at her immediately, but it looked like the four siblings, including her husband Kraus, didn't think that way. On the contrary, it appeared that they thought Kinzo was exactly the kind of person likely to attempt such a stunt. The existence of a mistress who had Kinzo under her spell had been whispered of since the very beginning when he had built the mansion on this island.
親父を尊敬してる夏日さんには悪いが、だいぶ昔からそういう噂はあったんだ。親父は自分一人でこの六軒島の設備すべてを作り上げた。
Dad prepared this island by himself and built everything.
屋敷の中には親父しかわからない仕掛けや隠し部屋なんかがあるんじゃないかって初めから疑われてたし、俺たちの知らない秘密の屋敷がこの島のどこかに隠されてるんじゃないかともずっとささやかれてた。
It's always been whispered that hidden somewhere on this island, there might be a secret mansion none of us know about.
そうね。地図上は小さな島かもしれないけれど、後ろ宮家だけが住むには広大すぎる島だわ。
It's quite large for the Shumir family to live on.
そして未開の森のどこかに愛人を住まわせるための隠し屋敷を作ったかもしれないと、そう思われてたのね。
And nobody ever went out to look for it?
ずいぶんスケールの大きな話ね。
That's a rather large scale story.
最初はそれはこの屋敷の中じゃないかと言われてた。秘密の地下とかがあったりして、そこに豪華な隠し部屋があり、あの肖像画の魔女が隠れ住んでるんじゃないかと。
There might be a hidden basement with a fabulous hidden room where that witch in the portrait was secretly hiding.
親父の書斎の凝ったオートロックの仕掛けとかを見てると、そう。
After seeing the intricate auto lock on that study, it isn't too hard to imagine, right?
何しろ莫大な黄金をどこか秘密の場所に秘密の仕掛けで隠したと吹聴する親父殿だ。この屋敷とてまだ我々の知らぬ隠し部屋があったとしても驚くには足りんね。
It will not surprise me to find there existed some hidden room inside this very mansion that none of us know about yet. Yeah, Kraus, you would know something about some hidden room where a piece of the gold exists, would ya?
お母様は存命中。よくお父様の不在をついて屋敷内をしらみつぶしに探し回ってたわね。ルドルフが言ったことをお母様も疑ってたのよ。
Mother also suspected that. Okay. This mother figure of y'all's has not been mentioned a lot. We've barely talked about Kinzo's wife here. There's not been much talk about her this entire visual novel. So this is interesting to get information about her. That she actually suspected her own husband before.
どこかに秘密の扉や階段があって、その中に金髪の愛人が隠れていると信じていたわ。
She believed that, huh? She believed what Rudolph was saying. It's hard to believe, but there are some actual examples in other countries of people cheating with someone over a period of several decades by making them live in a hidden attic room. That's crazy, by the way. Imagine being that woman, though, living in a hidden attic room and cheating with the head of a rich family in an attic room in a mansion. That's crazy. For decades? That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. Like, in real life, I'm sure that has happened before. That's crazy. I could not imagine. That's way too big, bro. If I get found out, his wife is killing me. Okay? I'm just imagining being that woman right now, okay? If I get found out, I'm dead. Alright? Or she's not gonna let that go easily. For decades? That's crazy. And this was Kinzo with a mansion this extravagant. There was an endless opportunity to suspect the existence of hidden rooms.
六軒島の魔女伝説って、私の聞いてた話では、子供たちが未開の森に入り込まないようにって言って作った怖がらせるためのおとぎ話だったんだけど、なんだかそれだけじゃないって気がしてきたわ。
There's a little more to that story.
まあ、何しろ後ろ宮の屋敷以外に何もない寂しい島だから。
This is a lonely island without anything but the Shiromiya mansion on it, and the guest house, and the chapel, and the storehouse.
俺やローザがガキの頃は、そりゃ雷雨の夜に森から聞こえてくる木々のざわめきに怯えたもんさ。その木々の間から不気味な何かが様子を伺ってるんじゃないかなんて妄想。ガキだったら誰でも考える自然なものさ。
It's only natural for any brat to think something like that. That there's something weird looking at us from between the trees in the forest.
だが、俺やローザがそう訴えるのを聞いて、ガキの妄想だろでは済まさない連中もいたってことなんだろうな。そうだろ、姉貴。
Isn't that right, Aneki? Eva?
私や兄さんは この島に隠れ住んでいる愛人が人目を忍んで出歩いていたのを偶然あんたたちが目撃したのではないかと考えていたわ。もちろんお母様もね。
Of course, mother did too. So Eva, Cross, and their mother suspected that by coincidence, Rudolph and Rosa found or had seen father's mistress.
古い使用人たちの中にも深夜の屋敷内に肖像画の魔女が徘徊しているというような怪談が語られていた。私はそれを表向き怪談として笑い捨てていたが、内心は秘密の愛人の存在を十分に疑っていたよ。
Cross suspected very much that he referred to the existence of a hidden mistress.
となると、この島に19人目の何者かがいるかもしれないってのは、全くバカバカしい話でもないっちゅうことなんか。
Might not be completely ridiculous.
いや、むしろどこかにいるかもしれないわけか。
They might actually be somewhere around here.
よくルドルフさんの言う悪魔の証明というやつになったわね。
Devil's proof is back again. We can't prove that she doesn't exist here.
19人目がいることは証明可能だけれど、19人目が存在しないことは証明不能。
Correct.
私たちはベアトリーチェという名の人物が島のどこかに潜んでいることを前提に議論を進めるべきなの？
Should we continue this discussion assuming that there is a person named Beatrice hiding somewhere in this island?
危機管理の基本としては正しいな。いるわけがないと思うよりは、いるかもしれないと用心する方がはるかにマシだろう。
Rudolph is saying that's the right way.
そうやな。すまん、ちょいと不用心が過ぎたわ。ローザさん、さっきは笑ってすまんかったな。
Rosa, sorry for laughing just now. Yeah, you better be sorry! Rosa! There you go. Rosa, you got your deserved apology.
別に気にしてないです。
It's alright, I don't mind. And you can hear by the tone of her voice that you know, that youngest sibling sort of, pressure on her. And by the speech, Hideyoshi apologized deeply for not being conscious enough of danger, despite calling himself the president of a company. Silence fell again. By preparing for the existence of a 19th person, they were accepting that some unknown person was sitting on this island. And since this person might have something bad planned for them, it was only natural that he came with a certain degree of discomfort.
親父殿はかつて不意に所在を知らせずに姿を消すことがあった。
He did that in episode 1 as well.
何しろ静寂を好むお人だからな。わざと所在を知らせずどこかの書庫に閉じこもっているなどということは別に不思議なことではなかったよ。しかし魔女伝説が愛人説にすり替わり、やがてそれはこっそり愛人のもとへ通っているのではないかと囁かれるようになった。
It was suspected that Kinzo was going to the Mistress back and forth to see her.
末期のお袋は疑心暗鬼の塊だったからな。突然大騒ぎして使用人たちに緊急事態だから今すぐ親父を探せなんて騒ぎ始めることがあったっけ。
Sometimes she'd suddenly start making a racket and asking the servants to look for Dad immediately, saying it was an emergency.
あったわね。
So she was very doubtful.
晩年のお母様はそんなことばかりだったから未だにその怖い雰囲気が拭えないわ。今だから言える。かわいそうな人だったわ。
She was a person to be pitied.
それでその大々的な家探しの結果どうだったんや。何か見つかったか？
Did they find anything?
いいえ、隠し部屋はおろか一度たりともお父様が発見されたことはないわ。そしていつもそれからだいぶ時間が経ってからひょっこりとどこからか姿を現すの。 どこかの書庫で昼寝していたとか、風に誘われて浜辺を散歩していたとか、なんとか言ってね。
Let me think here. Then he'd say that he'd been taking a nap in some archive or that the wind had called him down for a walk on the beach. A walk on the beach? Behold the sweet fish river running down my beloved home of old. Walk downstream it if in search for the key. Nope, nothing there. I can't sense it.
でもそれらの場所はいずれも使用人たちが必ず探している場所。お父様がどこに行っていたのかはいつもわからなかった。
We never knew where father had gone.
当時からお父様はオカルトに傾倒していることが有名だったから。一部の使用人たちは蝶にでも化けてバラ庭園を待っていたのだろうなんて嘘吹いていたっけ。
Some of the servants exaggerated, saying that he might have turned into butterflies and danced around the rose garden.
つまりお父さんは誰も知らないどこかへ姿を消すことが頻繁にあったのね。
Father frequently disappeared and no one knew where he went.
ああ、
Yeah.
どんなに屋敷中を探しても見つからないんだから、親父は屋敷の外へ行っているのだろうという見解になった。だが屋敷の外ったってそれほど大した場所はない。となると残るのは広大な森だ。
Which leaves only the expansive forest.
それで森の魔女伝説と融合してできた仮説はこうだった。親父は実は森のどこかに隠し屋敷を作っていて、そこにベアトリーチェという名の愛人を住まわせていて、時折通っているんじゃないかっていうわけだ。
Okay, so this is the first time we're hearing of this theory that Kinzo built a hidden mansion in the forest and his mistress Beato lived in it. This is the first time we're hearing this theory.
私も当時は若くてね、親父殿の浮気の現場を抑えてやろうと意気込み、表へ出る親父の後をつけようとしたことがある。
At one point I became intent on catching father cheating and I tried to follow him when he went outside.
もちろん失敗したよ。
I failed, of course.
親父は表へ出るとき異様に人目を嫌い、誰かに見られてないか警戒していた。それこそ異常なくらいね。
He was very intent on staying out of sight. Like he was like that to a very odd extent.
だから逆に確信したよ。
That made me sure.
家人に知られてはならぬ理由で出かけているに違いないとね。
Alright, he must have been going out for some reason that the members of his family couldn't know about.
そら愛人のところへ出かけるんや。
Like his mistress,
人目も忍ぶやろな。
trying to avoid being seen. After seeing Hideyoshi nod and say yes, yes, as though this was quite obvious, Eva got a little sullen.
まあとにかく西洋かぶれのお父様が自分の夢をまるでスケッチブックに描くみたいに実現したのがこの島なのよ。すべてがお父様の思い通りの島。愛人を住まわせる隠し屋敷があっても何の不思議もない。
Eva's words spoke for what all the siblings had come to think. For a while the room returned to silence again, and everyone listened to the sound of the wind and rain. Was there a hidden mansion on this island? And had Kinzo's mistress been living there in hiding for a long, long time? Every one of them had thought that they were being too suspicious and had refrained from saying it for the longest time, but it had been a common opinion that everyone shared. Kirie, who had been listening the whole time with her eyes closed, spoke to no one in particular.
そのお父様の愛人の噂はいつ頃から？
How long has this rumor been around?
この島に引っ越してきた当初からだから、あれこれ30年くらい前だな。
As soon as we moved to this island, so about 30 years ago. That makes sense. The mansion was built after the war. It's currently 1986. 30 years ago would have been 1956. It adds up. The mansion was built after the war, yep. And they moved in, okay, in the 1950s. That makes sense.
何しろ隠し屋敷の工事なんて俺たちが島に来ちまったら無理だろう。人とか機材の出入りがあるもんな。すぐにバレちまうぞ。
We had found out in no time. People and materials were being going out in and out.
だから可能だとしたら俺たちが引っ越してくる以前。
It would have happened before we moved here.
俺たちがまだ小田原に住んでいた頃にこの屋敷の工事と一緒に済ましていたんだろうよ。
Odawara, that's where they come from. It probably could have been built along with this mansion when we were still living in Odawara. Odawara, is that your beloved home of old then? Is that Kinzo's beloved home of old? Odawara? And there's a sweet fish river running through there? I don't know.
お父様は家族生活と愛人との生活の2つを両立させようと最初から想定していたと考えるのが妥当なんでしょうね。多分愛人との関係は小田原時代にまで遡るでしょうし。
His relationship with that mistress probably went back to the days when we lived in Odawara.
だろうな。
Probably.
親父殿が言うように後ろ宮家復興の軍資金となった莫大な黄金が彼女によってもたらされたとするのは小田原時代にはもう親交があったと見るべきだろう。
We can probably conclude that they had a close relationship since Odawara at least.
莫大な黄金を貸し付けられるだけの信頼関係だ。どれほどの古い縁か想像もつかんね。
I can't even imagine how old that relationship must have been.
おそらくお父様が事業で成功する上で何か貴重な助言をしてくれたのでしょう。それに恩を感じ、その人物が黄金を与えてくれたというような言い方をしたと考えるのが自然です。
I see. So Natsu's saying that it might be a metaphor, right? She gave him some advice for success in business, and he's saying that she gave him gold as a metaphor.
そうと考えれば、その後も親交があったのは当然でしょう。それはおそらく愛人というただれた関係ではなく、後宮家の危機を救った恩人としてに違いありません。
夏樹さんの言うのも一理あるかもわからんな。だが仮にそうでも隠し屋敷を作って住まわせるってのはちょいと行き過ぎた話やろな。恩だけでは計れん感情があったんとちゃうか。
Doesn't that mean there were some emotions in play beyond gratitude?
まあ全ては憶測だ。第一、その隠し屋敷は誰も見つけたことがねえ。
In the first place, no one has ever found a hidden mansion.
兄貴はこの島をリゾート開発する気なんだろう。その際にひょっこり見つかるかもしれねえぞ。
Well, he'll die before then. Don't worry, Rudolph.
案外そこに黄金もあったりするか。
Maybe you'd even unexpectedly find some gold there too.
お前は六軒島を宝島か何かだとでも思っているのか。
Do you think Rock Jimmy's treasure island or something?
とぼけないでよ。兄さんがリゾート開発と称して島の全域調査を計上しようとしてたのを知ってるのよ。例のトラブルのごたごたでできなくなっちゃったそうだけどね。
なんだか知らんが誤解だな。島の調査はリゾート化の第一段階として極めて当然のことだ。
It's perfectly natural that investigating this island will be the first step in turning it into a resort. Cross tried to play dumb, but it was plainly obvious to his siblings who knew him so well. Cross was definitely sure of the existence of a hidden mansion. And under the pretense of opening a resort, he had been investigating the island in detail, searching for a clue as to the location of the hidden gold. And he's found One Piece. He has found One Piece. No, not One Piece. Guys, come on. Come on, goddammit. Imagine the One Piece is actually just one piece of gold and they're just like, oh, that's why it's the One Piece. That's crazy. They couldn't tell whether that conviction was just him overthinking things or whether it was based on some physical proof. Well, there is some physical proof. He found one piece of gold. However, if Cross, with all his skill, was convinced, then the other siblings were similarly convinced that there must be a sufficient basis for it.
森に魔女が住んでるっちゅうのはそのまんまおとぎ話やが、森の中に誰も知らない屋敷があって金髪の姉ちゃんがひっそり隠れ住んどるっちゅうのも十分おとぎ話やな。
Hideyoshi again is daughter in the story.
そうね。シチュエーションだけだったらまるで童話か何かみたいね。ローザ、そういうの好きでしょ。
Hey, why are you going after Rosa again, Eva? You like those, don't you, Rosa? Children's stories, haha.
まあね。
And Rosa passively just goes, huh, yeah.
この島に屋敷を建てた頃は親父殿の特に全盛期だ。金に物を言わせてどんな妄想も実現しただろう。森の中にひっそり佇む魔女の屋敷。親父の好きそうなシチュエーションだ。
Sounds like the kind of setting Dad would like.
だな。オカルトチックというかメルヘン親父の趣味って気がするぜ。
Feels like Dad will be into that. On this island, which the Shume family had lived on for 30 years now, a hidden mansion that no one knew about had been quietly built, and within there lived a witch known only by her portrait. Even this hard-to-believe story might not be completely delusional considering all of Kinzo's strange habits and his vast wealth. Hmm.
お父さんがそういう夢を思い描いて隠し屋敷を建てることは不可能じゃないかもしれない。
Might not have been impossible, says Kitty, eh?
でも現実的な話。
But let's be realistic!
その隠し屋敷に愛する女性を不自由なく何十年にもわたって住まわせることなんて可能なのかしら。
Now she's questioning the convenience of it.
さあ、愛さえあれば可能なんじゃない？
If there was love, it could have been possible. If there is love, anything is possible because love is the single element of the universe. Right, Beato? Is that what you're saying now, Beato?
愛する女性が健やかに過ごせるような設備よ。それもお父さんなりのね。それはたとえ規模が小さかったとしても、趣向を凝らした快適な邸宅に違いない。
For example, even if it was on a small scale, it would have to be an intricate and pleasant residence.
そしてそれを維持するには、電気、ガス、水道。
It would need a lot of things, yeah.
あるいは身の回りの世話に人間も必要かもしれない。食事の世話だって大変でしょうね。
Even providing for her meals would be quite difficult.
衣服や化粧品、日用品。女の身の回りは簡単じゃないわ。
The needs of a woman aren't simple.
それだけのものを家人にも使用人にも悟らせずに維持することって可能なのかしら。
Would it be possible to maintain all of that without any of the family or the servants noticing?
そこまで言われると確かに弱いな。だがそれでも親父ならやってのけるかもしれんという気持ちは残る。何しろあの親父だからな。
After all, it is Kinzo. He's pulled off anything, right?
そうね。あのお父様だものね。
お父様はやり遂げることは何があってもやり遂げます。常人には難しいから無理だろうという理由はお父様に関してだけは当てはまらないでしょう。
Saying that it's difficult doesn't apply to father? Okay.
親父殿に関してだけは見くびらん方がいい。親父の狂気は常人の思考では理解にも及ばん。
That's madness, can't be understood by normal people. I wouldn't put it past the Ishirome Kinzo. As long as that word could accompany his name, a considerable amount of credibility dwelled in any story, no matter how absurd. However, that didn't shake the importance of what Kiria had said. This was different from stealthily raising a kitten in a cardboard box and keeping it a secret from your parents. Taking care of a person in secret over a period of 30 years would be an incalculably massive task. It would be really tough.
お父さんの黄金伝説は六軒島を取得する前からや。となると、その愛人との縁は30年以上ということになるな。
That would mean he and his mistress go back over 30 years, yes, because the legends started before then.
ってことは今いくつなんや?
How old would that make her? Well, we can assume at least 50, right? Around, at least as old as you guys are, if not much older.
下手をしたらわしらと同じか、それ以上の年齢とちゃうか?
Exactly. She's at least as old as you guys are, if not older, right? That makes the most sense.
体にもボロが出る年頃のはずや。どんな屋敷か知らんが、人目に触れんようなほとんど軟禁に近い生活はそう快適とは言えんやろな。
I couldn't call living in a place where people's eyes can't reach, almost as though she were under house arrest, agreeable.
そうね。お父様が語るベアトリーチェについての話が正しいなら、その縁は30年以上。当時は魅惑的な若い女性だったかもしれないけど、今は私たちと同格のタフな食えない女と考えるのが妥当でしょうね。
I wish she was, Eva. I wish she was. I still hate her.
手紙の内容からも、それは容易に想像できるわ。
I can easily imagine that given the contents of that letter.
お前が言うか。
Cross, you should talk. Nice. Cross laughed as though blind to his own shortcomings. Of course, Eva was offended, but she didn't strike back. Alright.
よせよ兄貴。そして俺たちの想像が本当なら、親父の遺産問題に彼女は胸を張って参加したいはずなんだ。
So if everything we imagine is true, she should want to throw out her chest with pride and join in on Dad's inheritance problem.
何しろ、お袋と違い、相思相愛だった可能性が高いからな。
It's a good chance it's always mutual, unlike Mom. Oof.
本人には愛人の自覚と同時に、正妻としての誇りもあるかもしれない。
She felt a kind of pride as his real wife? I see.
それはお母様への侮辱にあたりますよ。
That is an insult to mother. That it would be an insult to the other real wife, yes.
ああ、すまん。だが、親父とお袋が親戚の長老たちによる政略結婚だったことは誰もが知ってる。だからこそ、親父に愛人がいてもおかしくないと確信できるわけだがな。
Because of that, you can be sure it wouldn't be odd for Dad to have a mistress. It was a political marriage. The family sank after the Great Kanto earthquake, and Kinzo was set up as the Ishima family head against his will. However, in the beginning, he was influenced strongly by the elder relatives, who treated him like a puppet while they pulled the strings. He wasn't permitted to decide anything by himself, not even his marriage partner. And by his meeting with the Golden Witch Beatrice in those unhappy days, Kinzo's legend of the gold was quickly embellished into something dramatic. In other words, it could mean that Kinzo met with a woman he really did love. If she also knew his whole story, then even if they weren't marriage partners, it wouldn't have been odd for her to consider herself his true wife inside her heart. And now, the person registered as his true wife was already dead. Maybe she was killed, murdered. How did she die? Illness? How did she die?
となると、財産権どころか、家督争いにも食い込む気満々ってことになるで。
How did y'all's mother die, y'all? How did she die? Because it's another devil's proof, right? Can you guys prove that she wasn't murdered? murdered by Beatrice. This mistress? Wouldn't that be a theory you guys might have? No? They haven't talked at all about how their mother has died. Like at all.
なるほどな。この手紙の趣旨が少しだけ見えてきたよ。碑文の謎を解く者に家督を。そういう意味か。
That's what it means.
仮にその愛人が後宮家に序列を得ていたとしても、その序列はお父様の血を直接引かない以上子供に劣る。つまり序列はローザより一つ下ね。
In other words, she would be right below Rosa in rank.
とても家督争いに加われるようなレベルじゃないわ。
It's not a good position to join the battle for the headship.
そういうことか。魔女の碑文を解けば序列に関係なく家督が告げる。つまり全く可能性のないベアトリーチェにとって最も有利な条件ってわけだ。
It is the most advantageous condition that Beatrice could get since she had no chance whatsoever. The revival of the Ushirome family had been made possible by the gold Beatrice had bestowed. In other words, the credit belonged to her. She had built that wealth together with Kinzo, so it was natural that she would have thought of herself as the one who should inherit it. It would also be natural for her to despise the thought of giving a single cent to the children of the wife Kinzo had never loved.
ずうずうしいにも程があります。仮に愛人が実在したとしても、当主継承家を争うなど身の程をわきまえぬ暴挙です。なんという身の程知らず。
What disregard for her own place? Natsu turned red, her fist quivering. Especially because she doesn't even have the one-winged eagle crest. Natsu doesn't even have that. That's rough for her. There were also complicated circumstances behind her entry into the Shiromiya register. Those who knew that understood more or less why she was so angry for the sake of Kinzo's dead wife. Yeah.
Ma, その暴挙のおかげで私たちにも公平にチャンスがあるわけなんだけどね。
We now all have an even chance, right?
それにお父様はこの暴挙を黙認されている。後宮家を継ぐのは愛人ベアトリーチェか、愛はなくとも血を受け継ぐ私たちか。それを争わせて確かめたいというのでしょうね。
Maybe he wants to make a struggle over that to see who is worthy. Alright then, solve the riddle. Help me out then. Help me out then. I'm trying to solve the riddle anyway. If you guys start trying to do it, then yeah, it might help me out. Might as well try, right? As Eva giggled roguishly, Cross shrugged his shoulders and looked away.
でもその条件を向こうが出してきたということは、向こうは十分な勝算があるということじゃないのかしら。
I wonder if that means that the other party has a significant advantage.
それもそうや。第一、ベアトリーチェはあの手紙の文面通りならお父さんの顧問錬金術師、つまり黄金の管理者や。その隠し場所を知っていても何の不思議もないやないか。
It wouldn't be strange at all if she knew where it was hidden, would it?
こらひどい話やで。
What a bad joke!
答えを知っている謎々を出してきたも同じや。これでシャーシャーと現れて、これが答えや、家督はいただきやでなんて言われたら、わしらすべてかっぱらわれちまうわ。
She'll snatch everything away from us. Alright.
そうね。謎々の出題者は常に正解を知っているものよ。これは私たちから全てを奪うために作られた罠の可能性が高いわ。
There's a good chance that it's all a trap to steal everything away from us.
そこまで考えると、そもそも彼女が本当に黄金を持っているかどうかは怪しいと思わんかね。なぜ我々にその存在を教える？ 黙って着服すればよい。
All she'd have to do would be to stay silent and embezzle it.
確かにおかしな話だ。
It doesn't make much sense. Indeed, it was just as they said. If the epitaph showed the way to where the gold was hidden, why would she challenge them to try to solve it? If they actually did solve it, wouldn't the gold all be stolen? Could it be that this person was trying to stir the siblings up so that they tried to solve the epitaph, and would then snatch it up before they did solve it? That was a very reasonable guess.
いいえ、チェス盤をひっくり返して考えれば、黄金を実際に持っている可能性は低くないかもしれない。
Flip over the chessboard! Here we go. Kiria has a good thought here.
どうしてそんなことが断言できるのよ。
How can you be so certain?
待て姉貴。キリエ、続きを話してくれ。どうしてそう思う？
Right, Rudolph always trusts in Kiria and her smart flipping the chessboard. Why do you think that?
だって私たちは魔女の碑文なんていう謎々の答えを教えられたくらいで、本気で後ろ宮家の家督を明け渡す気？謎々の答えに感服して降参を？
That we'd be so impressed at the answer to the riddle that we'd just give up.
そらまあそれもそうやな。謎々の答えを教えられたくらいでわしらがあっさり降参して家督をはいどうぞと渡すかっちゅうたら、そら甘い話やな。
It's true.
当然です。後宮家の家督をそんな程度のことで譲ることがあるわけがない。
The headship of the Ishiruma family is not something that can be handed over so easily.
そういうことよ。いくらベアトリーチェが一方的にこんなゲームを提案しても、そして見事その答えを示してみせたとしても、私たちは家督を素直に譲るわけもない。
There's no way that we'll obediently hand over the headship. Alright.
つまり私たちがこのゲームに対等な条件で挑まなくてはならないという強制力がない限り、このゲームは成立しないのよ。
This game won't function as a game.
そうだな。負けた時、家督を譲ることに強制力を持たせなきゃ。
Yes,
ゲームは成立しない。
the losers have to be forcibly compelled. Yep.
その強制力というのはどういう意味だね。我々を鎖で縛って家督を譲るよう脅迫でもしようというのかね。
They bound us in chains and threatened us into handing over the headship.
なるほどね。わかったわ。私たちが喜んで家督を放棄したくなるようにすればいいわけね。なるほど。ならば確かにベアトリーチェは10トンの黄金を持っていなければならない。
And yes, certainly Beatrice would have to be in possession of the 10 tons of gold.
そうか。わしにもわかったで。つまり取引っちゅうわけやな。
Okay, but if it was a trade, why would she mask it as a game? Why would she mask it as this elaborate game where we have to solve a riddle to find some gold? Why go that far?
どういう意味ですか？取引？何を？
Trade the gold for the headship.
後宮家の家督と
Yeah.
隠し黄金をよ。
Yeah, but why wouldn't she just come out with that? Why wouldn't that be the letter? Why would she go through this elaborate prank thingy that you guys are talking about?
ベアトリーチェはきっと10トンの黄金の所在を明かし、それで後宮家の家督を買収するつもりなのよ。
バカバカしい。
バカバカしい。
栄光ある後宮家の家督をお金でやり取りしようというのですか？冒涜です。後宮家への冒涜です。
Blasphemy against the Shiromiya family.
怒らずに聞いて。
I agree with Kitty. Let's not get too mad quickly here. Alright? We're still theorizing.
その栄光ある後宮家には今どの程度の財産があるの？私たちはそんなにも裕福なの？
Are we really that affluent?
裕福の定義とは財産で決まるのではありません。 心の持ちようで決まります。私たちの財産状況が一体何の
Of what relevance is our financial situation to? Cross interrupted Natsuki as she started to go on emotionally. In this situation, the more she went on and on emotionally, the worse it would actually sound for them.
私はともかくお前たちの状況は芳しくないと聞いている。
I've heard that the rest of you are in pretty unfavorable situations right now, myself aside.
あらそう。兄さんの財政状況だって相当に芳しくないと聞いているわよ。次々担保に入れて新しい博打の掛け金にして、負けを認めないために次々新しい博打に手を出して、内情の話をしたらこの中で兄さんほど火の車の人間は存在しないわ。
Okay, now they're arguing to each other about state of affairs. Ah!
どれだけ損失を出してんのよ兄さんは。
How much have you lost?
才能ないのよ。
You have no talent.
誰の才能がないというのですか。言うにこと書き、火の車とは。
Natsu and Eva arguing again. Natsu became indignant once again, but Cross raised his hand again and interrupted her.
多少の誤解があるようだ。ビジネスは経過で判断できるものではない。私のような長期的視野でのビジネスともなると、時に短い単位期間では一見大きな損失を出しているようにも見えるものだ。
Okay, so Cross is thinking long term, and it may seem that he suffered some short-term losses. Okay.
兄貴、裏は取れてんだぞ。今は見栄を張ってる場合じゃない。
Now's not the time to be putting up a front.
つまりキリエはこう言いたいのさ。俺たちは全員が全員金に困ってる。そしてベアトリーチは10トンの黄金を持っている。
Beata's 10 tons of gold, which should all be perfect for us.
ベアトリーチェは自分だけがありかを知る10トンの黄金で私たちに家督を売らせるつもりなの。10トンの黄金の価値はどのくらい？
About how much is 10 tons of gold worth? Didn't we calculate it to be several hundreds of billions of yen? Which is what, a few $billion? No? Was it? No, it was several hundred million, wasn't it? It was several $100 million, wasn't it?
ざっと見積もって20億？
That's it? 2 billion yen? Okay, that's like $20 million actually. Not as much as I thought it was. I thought it was over 100 million.
いえ、
Oh,
200億。
okay. Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah, $200 million. Okay, yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, that makes more sense. 20 billion yen, also known as $200 million. That's some good money. That's some good money. I mean, if y'all share 200 million yen between each other, that's enough to sustain you and your family for your entire lives and your children's lives. I mean, that's some freaking solid money right there.
これだけを積まれたら私たちは歓喜して彼女を次期当主に認めるわ。
We jump in with joy to accept her as the successor to the head. The scene returned to silence. I'm gonna end it there. Alright, we've been recording for long enough. A lot of talking and arguing, I guess, and speculating and theory crafting by the siblings here about this gold, about this inheritance, about the letter, about Beato, about the witch, and all that. Long discussion there. I don't really have much to say because we haven't really gotten that much new info other than similar character interactions and this whole mistress stuff in the mansion. But the rest we more or less kind of knew or had an idea of, so it wasn't like we learned anything too big or too new or anything like that. And the trade, of course. This trade thing is new. But other than that, most of the discussions we knew about, right? Cross is, you know, they're them having struggling financially, the different dynamics. We're kind of used to this by now. I mean, we're used to the siblings doing this at least once every episode, where they argue for long periods of time about the inheritance and that, and the witch's letter. So yeah, we're used to this. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this part of Minako when they cry. Next time we'll probably continue a bit more with this discussion and hopefully end off the discussion. Because honestly, it's not that I'm not interested in discussion. I am much, or the family arguing with each other, the siblings. I'm just simply much more interested in trying to solve the riddle of the epitaph at this point. Because this discussion, as much as I'm trying, as I'm reading it, I'm trying to use it as to find any hints, right? Especially regarding the mistress living in the mansion, in the secret mansion. I'm trying to use it to find any hints regarding the riddle of the epitaph. But I haven't really been able to sense any clear hints. So that's, yeah, I'm kind of at a loss there. But yeah, I hope you guys at least enjoyed this one. Hope you guys enjoyed this, watching it as much as I enjoyed reading it. I'll see you guys next time for some more Umineko. Alright, y'all. Peace.